And joining us is Rhonda Hogan-Brock. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for being with us. You're with the New York City Transit. How did you get into the transit business?
Well, early on in my career, I started in the private sector. I worked in a lot of the white shoe law firms on Wall Street, and I went to college and got my undergraduate degree in education. So I was doing some training and teaching in some of the law houses. And it just so happened in municipal government, F.A.O. Schwartz, the toy store giant,
Yes.
Our paths crossed in a private sector situation. And he remembered me. I'll never forget, he said, "Every time I see you, you look so different," in a good sense. And he tracked me down, through the personnel departments at one of the white shoe firms, Cravath, Swain and Moore, which is, the third largest law firm in the country. And I was sitting at home one night, and I'll never forget looking at Flamingo something, one of these programs. And he called me and said, "Hi, this is F.A.O. Schwartz," which eventually we called him Fritz, that was his nickname. "And how would you like to come and, work with me as I saddle the city law department," which was comprised of about 500 attorneys at the time. And I came in and, we interviewed, and the chemistry just automatically happened. And, I worked with him as his executive assistant for the law department, which was a little bit shy of 5 years. And during my tenure, I, would interact, and, I kind of, how should I say, ran interference and did all the types of things that you do in a highly visible and pressured work environment. And one of the attorneys that worked in New York City Transit called me one day, and they said, "Rhonda, they need you over here. They need you to straighten them out, because the law department here at Transit is feudal. They need your organizational skills, they need the administration, etc."
So you had been you were an HR professional?
No, not at the time. Not at the time. I basically was doing major administration. And then when I came to New York City Transit back in 1986, I went straight into the law department in the operations support area, which, you do budgeting, and you do a medley of things, but on the administrative side of the house.
Right. Now, you told me that your passion is professional development and training.
Yes.
Why is that so important?
I think it's major. It's huge. Not only for somebody starting, in the beginning, but also at all levels of one's career, because the type of training is transferable as you go up the rungs of the ladder. You train and you acquire, certain skills, and you can hone the skills if, you get the appropriate or the requisite training for whatever level you are in the organization.
So what kind of training are we talking about?
Well, right now I'm the lead. I head up, training and professional development at New York City Transit, which is a human resources function.
Right.
And we have a plethora of computer skills training. We have soft skills training, which they say soft skills, but it's really hard skills. Mm-hmm. Conflict resolution, presentation skills, diversity, writing. We find that a lot of people in management positions really could use some skills training in writing and honing those skills.
When you look at the workforce today, and you look at the people that are coming in to New York City Transit, what are their skill levels? And
well, they vary. There was once upon a time, back in the day, probably when Herbie and when Winton, were not at the level that they are today. A lot of people came to transit, they didn't have degrees. So, they set up programs in transit that would give them, certain certifications in certain, skill areas and functional areas, because they didn't have the degrees. They set up programs which would facilitate them to gain a degree while they were doing on the job.
Compare that to today.
Today, you have a lot of people coming into transit with degrees, and also, postgraduate degrees as well. So it's a different type of skill set. It's a different type of course offering. I was very excited when Tracy Bessalou, when we were early on in your workshop, talked about the Comto Leadership Institute. Right now, in my area, we're working on something that we're going to parlay, hopefully, to our president at Transit, Carmen Bianco, and we're calling it TEAM, which is Transit Employee Academy Modules, and we're doing this pretty much the same concept as the Comto Leadership Institute will have requisite training for various occupational groups that comprise New York City Transit.
Okay. As you know, Julie Cunningham, our CEO, is no longer with us. Did you have any memories of Julie, any interactions with her?
Yes, I did. Not a whole lot, but Julie was honored at our gala last year, and I was the chair for that, for the events planning for the gala. And she was one of the individuals that was honored, and she interacted with myself and another colleague who couldn't be here to for this conference, and we got to know her a little bit closer and more intricate in terms of what she did. But I mean, I always admired Julie for she reminded me of me in a sense because she's a mover and a shaker, and and I'm referred to as that a lot, making things happen. So I had utmost respect for her. And, I didn't know she touched the lives of so many people. But that was my one close encounter with her, more so last year when she came to New York at the gala, which was very successful for Comto New York chapter.
Okay. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you
and
for
thank you
having
for
me.
your thoughts.
Yes.